So I'm excited to get started. It took a while. So I'm going to start off by just saying to the people who are watching, we're going to say whatever we want. We're going to do whatever we want. And if you like us, then stay tuned in. If you don't like us, then you can fuck off. So let's have fun. We're just going to be ourselves and we're just going to have fun with it. So I'm going to start. My name is Tanner Katari. I'm 17 and I've been fighting for about 3 years. And I train at this place called Elite Force Martial Arts. And I'm a pretty boring kid. So Zach, what about you?
My name is Zachary Rugi. I've been training martial arts for about 13 years. I started when I was 5 years old because I was always a shorter kid. Like, Tanner, you didn't know me during that age, but I was always a shorter,
You were
scrawnier
bald.
kid. Yeah, well, I had a buzz cut. It was not the move, but like I was scrawny as a skinny kid. So as a kid, like, being able to defend yourself was a big part for me. So I started martial arts like around like second grade, and ever since then it's stuck with me. I started going to competitions and things like that. So
What do you start with? What martial arts?
I started with Taekwondo. That's kind of like almost like every kid does Taekwondo. It's probably one of the most easiest things to start, and you can't really go wrong with Taekwondo. But the only thing I regret about it is that, like, really the Taekwondo that I did only taught you how to use like your kicks and stuff, but still it gave me the basics for most martial arts, and it taught me a lot of focus as well.
Xander, what got you into fighting and watching it and doing it a little
My
bit?
name's Tanner Plotkin. I'm 19. I got into fighting because like one of my good friends just was a big fan of UFC, and he just showed me, and ever since I became like a major fan, and I love the game. I love everything about it.
Zach, what got you into fighting? Like, I know you've been doing it, but is there any like real reason that you are doing it? Like a sad backstory or anything?
No, I mean, other than like, getting picked on for being that smaller kid, like we've all gone through middle school and elementary school where you need to prove yourself at some point. So if you're going through middle school, it's like you pick on or you get picked on. So for me, like, getting picked on was never an option. So I used martial arts as a way to defend myself and instill confidence in myself so that I can, really walk around and not be degrading myself or not kick myself even farther down because of what other people say. So, I mean, there have been times where like I've gotten into fights and martial arts has helped me, get out of those fights without getting hurt too badly or things like that. A lot of people that understand what you see on like UFC, like that stuff is in my opinion, the best thing to train. It's like all types of martial arts. Because like what I did is I stuck with just Taekwondo. So if I did Taekwondo my entire life and I got taken to the ground, like that's a very bad situation for me because I have no way of doing that. So that's why I admire UFC fighters so much, because like they're really like they try to well round themselves in all aspects of martial arts, whether it's jiu-jitsu, wrestling, Muay Thai, boxing, things like that. Then really you can sharpen yourself and you really become a weapon. Essentially, you make yourself a weapon, and if you learn how to control that, martial arts is probably the greatest thing, in my opinion.
Isn't it nuts how UFC fighters go in there and they train probably like 10 years before they go in the UFC? Like, some people just are street fighters and go in. How do they do that?
Kimbo Slice. Nah, I've like had a couple, like sparring like fights per se, but I mean it's nothing like what they do. Like they put their bodies on the line for that stuff. Tanner, you felt it. I don't know if you've ever felt it, Xander, but checking a kick shin to shin is probably one of the most worst feeling in the world. And as you watch a UFC fight, you watch these kicks get thrown full power and then a check and then they just keep going. I don't understand like how mentally they prepare themselves for that, but it's so admirable.
It's crazy. I watch those videos on Instagram of they just kicking palm trees and shit.
Oh my
And
God.
it
No,
fucking
who's a
hurts.
master at that, bro?
Tony Ferguson.
Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
Bro, he kicks metal poles, bro.
That guy sees
Yeah,
red.
The Kukui. I love him.
yeah, he's the man.
Those jokes about him, like that Tony Ferguson's the type of guy to blank, those are so funny. It's like Tony Ferguson's the type of guy to climb over a glass wall to see what's on the other side. Like just things like that. It's so funny. I really enjoy watching it. Like even like some of the backstories for fighters is so like entertaining.
You know Francis Ngannou's backstory?
Not really familiar with that. I don't really follow
Yeah,
heavyweight, but
It's crazy. Like when he was a kid, he worked in like I forgot what it was, but he always was working when he was a kid.
All right, he was
And
like shoveling dirt.
yeah, it was something
Yeah.
like that.
Was he from Nigeria? Is that where he's from?
I'm pretty sure because I did a paper on him and he traveled everywhere. Like
Yeah.
he was always going places.
But initially, was he born in Nigeria or was he born
Yeah,
in?
I think he was.
Yeah, because him, I don't know if Usman was either, but they had that whole like wave where it was like Usman and I might be wrong, but
Israel.
also Israel Adesanya and Francis when they were all like title
Then they got
holders.
fucked.
Yeah, they did get fucked, low key, but you know, it happens.
Yeah.
I like the Brazilians. I'm a Brazilian fan. I like the BJJ.
Yeah, I
You're
like him,
Mexican.
but yeah, they're good.
Submission specialists like Charles Oliveira. Like you're beating someone in a fight without using a strike. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, but when you get to that level, like the top of the food chain level, I mean, everybody's good everywhere, and
Yeah.
that's where I think that wrestling really sets like the biggest difference. Like a good wrestler is always gonna have a really good chance in any fight, just because they could always find comfort on the ground.
This is something that I realized. If you only wrestle, you're gonna have an issue. Wrestling is good with added with something else. So if you can wrestle and you have good striking, you're golden. If you can wrestle and you have good jiu-jitsu, you're golden. But from what I've seen is like if you get taken down, then what are you going to do from there, right? Because wrestling only teaches you pins. So you kind of have to pair it with something else. But I fully agree. If you have wrestling and you're somewhat like if you're a really great wrestler and you're somewhat decent in either striking or jiu-jitsu or whatever, I feel like you can be a strong contender.
I would agree with that 100%. I feel like it's as a striker, you have to be more well-rounded than a wrestler. Like a wrestler, you don't have to be as
Unless you have
well-rounded.
very good takedown defense like Leon Edwards.
I would say he's a wrestler now, though, kind of too. Like Leon, like he fully even admitted. Like,
Well, I mean, there you go. I mean, Leon is a prime time striker.
He's
Like,
your
it's
favorite.
a
isn't
great
he?
example.
Leon, Leon Rocky Edwards. He used to be my favorite fighter. He's not my favorite anymore.
He took
He used to be
years
my favorite
off
fighter.
to like
Yeah.
learn how to just all wrestling, and like that's why he became champ, in my opinion.
And that's what I love about it too. Martial arts does that to you. Martial arts shows you like the aspects in which you're weak in, and they force you to improve. Like especially in the UFC, they force you to improve. But like with Khabib, I mean, Khabib is not. You've seen his striking.
It's an exception. Like Bo Nickel, guys like that, like
Yeah.
they don't ever like learn how to strike. They would be fine. I mean, they're just so dominant at what
Bo Nickel's an
what they're able
upcomer,
to
though.
do.
Like,
Bo
do you
Nickel's
think
gonna be
he's still
great.
going to be as good as he is right now?
He's great. He's unreal. I mean, look at his accolades. Like he's like a 3 times NCAA national champion.
It's nuts, yeah.
I mean, that guy. I truly see him being a UFC champion. I just don't see how he's going to get beat unless like somebody throws a crazy knee up the middle when he goes for a takedown.
Yeah, but I mean, at that level though, they train on how to recognize that. Like if they shoot and they see the knee pop up or whatever. But like, I definitely think the wrestling is a prime, like I'd say underrated like form of martial art. Look at Ben Askren. Like everybody hates on Ben Askren. Everybody hates on Ben Askren because he got kneed by Masvidal that quick time. But the thing people don't understand is that Ben Askren was one of the best wrestlers. Like when it came to
100%.
wrestling, Ben Askren would dominate, right? But people only look at him for the knee, but they don't look at his wrestling. Like I thought like after the knee, he kind of fell off. But before that, he was a good fighter. His wrestling carried him. Like I think he was a national champion in wrestling.
I think he went
Olympic.
to Olympic.
He was Olympic level champion in wrestling, which to me is crazy. Like
that's why I'm excited for the fight this weekend. Cejudo.
Oh yeah, Cejudo. I love watching him.
Henry Cejudo is friends with like only wrestlers. Like I see his training sessions, like he's always wrestling.
Yeah, he's an Olympic gold medalist wrestler. I mean, that's his background. I think he's amazing.
Do you see him winning this fight?
100%. I do. I don't know why they have the odds so even, but they see it as like a 50-50. I think that.
I like this. It's 288, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 288. I personally like this card because I'm a huge Gilbert Burns fan.
Dude, it's not. He's fought every single fight this year.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
He hasn't.
I think we saw Bilal, right? No, we never saw Bilal. Did we see Bilal? When we
I
went
met
to-
Bilal. I met Bilal.
You met
Maybe.
Bilal. That's so cool.
I don't think we did. We saw Kevin Holland.
I will enjoy a Kevin Holland fight.
You saw
every day of the
Khamzat
week.
Chimaev versus Gilbert Burns.
We didn't see that in person.
Oh no, I thought you were at that
No.
one.
No, but like I think Bilal's a savage too. He's prime as well. But I'm a Burns fan. I like Burns. I think the card is in my opinion not how I'd want it to be, but because I think did anybody drop out of that
Yeah,
fight?
Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah, Bryce Mitchell.
Ilya Taporia.
Charles Oliveira.
Charles Oliveira is supposed to be on this card.
Yeah, Dariush was supposed to fight Charles Oliveira. That was a terrible matchup. I thought.
Oliveira is one of my favorite fighters. When he's champion, he's so emotional.
Well, that's
Like,
just like Brazilians.
Dude,
he
don't
was
get me
so
wrong,
happy.
Tanner. Like he was my favorite fighter too, but I think Beneil smokes him 100%.
I would say since he was champion, the UFC has gotten a lot better in his weight class. Like Islam stepped his game up. There's just a lot of new prospects in his division now.
Well, everybody that I knew thought Oliveira was going to win that fight.
No way. I was all over Makhachev.
I wanted Islam to win 110% because, like, I mean, look at it, bro. Those Dagestani boys are dominating.
They're nuts.
I knew Islam was gonna win. I literally had it on text like second round submission, but I wanted Oliveira to win. He's the man, but
Guy.
Islam is like that style, that chain wrestling in Dagestan. It's you can't. It's so hard to fight against it. But Volk impressed me so much. I think he's pound for pound the best fighter. I think Volk proved it.
Minus the cocaine and all that. I am a Jones guy. John Jones is my favorite fighter. Minus all the allegations, but it's whatever. It's whatever.
He's amazing, but he's the best fighter of all time. I would say that, but he's not my favorite.
He's my favorite.
Most entertaining fighter to watch. You can't argue is Wonder Boy or Kevin Holland.
Nah, because he spars the way that Thompson fights. Like he has these like karate style kicks.
Nah, the best is McGregor.
And McGregor is just because all the hype.
What do you mean the hype? He knocked out Jose Aldo. Aldo was like basically undefeated.
Don't get us wrong. Like I think Conor McGregor is a phenomenal striker, if not one of the best strikers he's ever seen.
He's amazing, yeah.
But I think just the personality he brings, although it sells and all that, I personally don't like it.
I love it.
It's definitely genius. It's marketing genius.
But it's not. I don't think. I think part of it's marketing, but I think that's truly who he is. Like if you look.
I fully agree. But it's definitely genius. Like Dana White is playing that Conor McGregor card, and it blew the UFC up.
Is he talking shit to Michael Chandler?
I don't think he's as vocal like that as he used to be.
Didn't he get into like a scruff with Machine Gun Kelly that one time?
Oh yeah,
that was funny.
Yeah,
that was funny. I'll give it to.
I don't think he's as vocal as he used to be in the terms of like obnoxious and stuff like that. But I still do think that's just like how he is.
Well, no, for sure. I mean, he snapped his ankle or shin or whatever.
Yeah.
He's still yelling like "fuck your wife"
and still on the mic talking shit. That is wild.
That's nuts.
Still, your wife sent me DMs, bro. That was crazy. Snapped ankle. Joe Rogan sitting next to him. That was such a funny. I saw that fight at my friend's house, and that was also Wonder Boy fought on that card as well.
Yeah,
and he lost to Gilbert Burns. But besides the point, I think I personally like McGregor. It's just him as a person, and I can see why a lot of people like him. I think he's definitely like the people who don't really watch UFC and the people who don't really train. I feel like they don't like him as much. That's like, 'cause to me, he kind of like his persona is like WWE.
I would say McGregor needs to find a new strength because his old strength was quickness, and he used to move out of the way and counterpunch every single guy. And he's getting older now and heavier.
Yeah, but he's like 36. I think he pieces up Chandler.
Oh God.
I don't know. I love Chandler, but I mean, it's been a long time since he's fought, and he is heavier, like Tanner said. So. It's definitely going to be – I think that's going to be a curveball to him. However, we'll see how it goes. I mean, he's been training a lot of wrestling, right?
Yeah, which is good.
Which is good because he can use the weight he put on for that, which is good. I love Michael Chandler, though. I think he's an amazing guy. I personally, if I saw that fight, I'd want Chandler to win. I think it'll be close. I just don't like –
second round knockout.
I definitely wouldn't be surprised if that happened. McGregor just pulls shit out of his sleeve.
I mean, he didn't get there for no reason. Like, you got to remember that.
I am not denying he is a phenomenal striker.
Like, O'Malley is getting pushed way too hard. Like,
O'Malley is in McGregor's shadow. I've been saying that.
Right when O'Malley fights a wrestler, like, his career's over. I mean, if he fights anybody that could actually wrestle, like Cejudo mauls him, Aljamain mauls him. Like, it would – any average wrestler in the top 20 beats him. Top 15 beats him.
Do you think he won the Peter Yan fight?
No way.
No way. I saw that fight and I saw that he won that, and that was almost the point where I was like, yeah, let's
He
let's
was even
go.
shocked.
No, I was like, I'm going to watch Bellator. Like,
Yeah,
there's no
that
way.
upset me so much. Not even as bad as the Patty Pimblett one. That one was just like
Patty is just another like McGregor wannabe.
he's not a good fighter. Like he's
He's
just not that good.
He
He's
did not
that
win his
good.
last fight.
I say give it time. He's gonna fall off. Like I think the only thing that keeps him going is what was that clip? Who did he say he was gonna fight? Where he was like,
And he's mean to Ariel Helwani. Like what is that all about?
yeah. Well, Ariel Helwani gets a lot of hate.
Yeah, he does.
I love watching those videos at like 2 a.m. of him just getting like shit on by fighters. It's so funny.
I love Ariel Helwani though.
Yeah, he is a good he's I would say he's a good guy. Although
Yeah, I think
he's a reporter. Like he's doing
he does his job.
He's doing his job.
Who's the nicest guy in the UFC in your opinion? That like of all time?
Oh.
GSP.
No.
I think because GSP's nice, but he's not like there's some fighters who are just like overly nice.
Wonder Boy too.
Wonder Boy's respectful, yeah.
No,
But,
no,
I mean-
it would be like
I mean, like I like fear for the day if I see a UFC fighter in person and I like ask for like a picture or whatever, they're gonna get like offended. Because like
why are they getting offended?
some celebrities do that. I mean, you can't even lie. Like
Wait, you say some celebrities get offended? Wait, for what?
if like I see a UFC fighter in public and I'm like, hey, is it cool if I take a picture with you? Like I'm a really big fan of whoever it is, and they're like,
Wouldn't they be happy?
I saw bad baby in public one time, and I asked for a photo, and she said no, and her security guards came and like reprimanded
that's
me.
crazy. Well, like I feel like if you meet Kanye in person, he'll definitely either like be super nice to you or he'll give you a rant, and that's not something I want.
Talk about changing the world or buying it or some shit.
No, yeah, changing the world by eliminating a race. That's what he would say.
Hey, no, we can't hate on Kanye when we're in Chicago.
Wait, you live in
Well,
Chicago?
Yeah, I'm in Chicago right now.
Damn, are you there for like school?
Yeah,
What school do you go to?
DePaul University.
DePaul. Nice. Do you train at all?
Yeah, I have. I train like every other week, but I've only been doing it for around like 2 months. So
What style?
Jiu-jitsu and wrestling. So
Jiu-jitsu? Good combo. Good combo.
Xander's all about like doing research on what's the best martial arts for you.
No, I already know. I know what the best is. The best is the most important martial arts. I would say is wrestling. I mean,
do you enjoy it?
yeah,
I would not say
builds
wrestling.
confidence.
Because, and this is where
Here we go.
This is what I'm saying. Like you have to take on 3 guys. What is wrestling going to do for you? You take one down, you're on the ground with somebody. You have 2 other people attacking you. What are you going to do?
Well, when you think of fighting, you think of one-on-one combat. Like
No, I think of defending yourself. If you have to defend yourself against 2 people, you don't want to be in close quarters with somebody who has a knife. You don't want to be in close quarters if there's more than one attacker, right? You want to be able to stay on your feet.
Somebody has a knife. I mean, then there's really no good way of fighting, and that's just
No, there's no good. Well, there's no. That's not a good situation in itself. But there's still like I'm not just gonna lay down and die. There's styles that'll help you defend yourself, and that's what I'm saying. Like you can have like whatever you can have whatever situation you want or whatever background you want, but it all depends on how you defend yourself.
So if you
That's
want
the
to
reason I took martial arts. It's not because I wanted to do sport fighting or whatever. It's because I wanted to defend myself.
I feel like I took it. I feel like I started getting into it because of like
Because of
built
UFC.
my confidence. No,
Confidence
I felt
That's why I did it.
Confidence is one thing, and that definitely is a part of martial arts. But also at the same time, it's like that number one rule almost in self defense is you don't want to end up on the ground because you don't know what's going to come behind you. If your back's on the ground, you have no power, right? You're just in a bad spot. So that's why I'm saying like if it comes to like defending yourself, if like anybody watching or listening or whatever, if I can recommend you a style to train, Muay Thai or kickboxing.
Yeah, Muay Thai. Nah, but what if you do go to the ground? You know, then
Well, then you can
I feel
add it
like-
to something else. But if you
what
can
about
avoid the situation
combat
together,
samba? Combat samba.
I guess. I mean, but where are you gonna find? I've been training for a long time, and I can
Zach,
barely find a combat sambo gym.
I would say that you guys are both right because it depends what you're trying to do. I would say for like a street fight, it could be Muay Thai, but for like all around, it could be wrestling too. Like it could go either way. It just depends like when you're gonna defend yourself, where it is, like if it's a sport. It just depends.
But I'm saying like all around though. Like
All
if
around,
you-
I would pick stand up striking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stand up striking, because you can still keep people away. If somebody, because there have been times where, like, at the place, because I used to work at where he trains. I used to work at Elite Force, and there's been times where kids would walk in, or adults would walk in and say that they sparred, right, or they say that they wrestle, and then because the way that our place used to work is that, like, if you're going against somebody experienced, the guy who runs it might let you do takedowns, right? So I was experienced enough to go against somebody else who could do a takedown, right? But the thing that I realized is, if somebody shoots in for a takedown, there's two options. You can sprawl and get out of the way of it, or you can shoot a knee or a front kick. There's ways of getting out of that.
Yeah, but but you should know what you do if you don't get out of it. Like if you get taken down, and
I'm saying you have to take me down first, and that is going to be hard if you train Muay Thai or train all that. Because I mean, Muay Thai, you still work clinches. You still work sweeps and stuff. So you have kind of a general idea of takedowns and how to not get taken down and balance control. But wrestling, like the only thing I don't like about wrestling is you take me down, then what? Because wrestling doesn't teach you submissions. It doesn't teach you striking on the ground.
That's why, but you could keep them there all day. Like, I mean,
until you can't. That's the thing. If you take me down, if you're a wrestler and you take me down and you pin me, right? And whatever. I get out of it and I take your back and I choke you out. What are you gonna do?
How are you gonna take my back when I'm on
because
top
jiu-jitsu works on ground.
Yeah, but I think it nulls it. I mean, there's definitely instances where it doesn't. Like I'm not talking like if you get a great jiu-jitsu, like Gordon Ryan, right? And then you put him against the best wrestler of all time and they fight, like I think that it would null his jiu-jitsu. I think that his control would null it. But I mean, who am I to say that? We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can just take examples of it in UFC. I mean, it's hard to say exactly because it's hard to measure somebody's experience in it, right? Like, you can have somebody who's incredibly skilled in jiu-jitsu go against somebody who knows a somewhat background of wrestling, but it's just hard. But like I said, and from my experiences and from what I've gone through, I think what's helped me the most in self-defense and what's helped me the most in sparring and all that is my kickboxing and Muay Thai. Like, and don't get me wrong, like wrestling and jiu-jitsu are super effective, but I'm saying if you want to pick one and you want the most out of it, I'd say Muay Thai is your best bet.
It's fair.
I mean, and jiu-jitsu's there too. I think jiu-jitsu's up there as well. I'd rank it Muay Thai first, jiu-jitsu second, wrestling third. Because wrestling's kind of like the middleman between the two. But I still feel like if I went against a D1 wrestler at my same body weight in a straight up fight, I'd probably lose that fight. But
100%. Yeah.
I'd probably lose that fight.
Well, if it's one-on-one, yeah. But like you said, if you had other guys and they were
just take my pants off. What are they going to do? Wrestle me with my pants off?
I would, but they wouldn't.
Oh, my God, dude. If you ever do jiu-jitsu with your friends, sometimes it gets so sus. It gets so bad.
It's just people who don't know what they're doing are like, why are you on top of me?
Oh my God, that's something that's another topic like about martial arts is people who are so ignorant about it. Like, oh my God, if I hear somebody else when they ask me like what my hobby is and I say martial arts and they're like, "Hiya," I just want to like kick them in the face. It's like I don't like I used to do karate and taekwondo, and that, yes, you have to do katas and stuff with like blocks and chops and stuff, but that's not what I did martial arts for, right? So when people ask me what I do martial arts for, they immediately think karate, haya, breaking boards, like Cobra Kai, all that shit. It's like, bro, I don't do that.
Yeah.
It's not the same. But people who don't know, they think it's the same. They think like now it gets to the point where like they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I do. You see the stuff on UFC? I train that.
You can't say martial arts anymore. They think
martial arts is like that's the stuff that you see, the kung fu. But I don't know where I would be right now without it. I don't know where I would be. It's been such a big part of my life to where like it has shaped me like 100% to the person I am. And Tanner, how long have you been doing it for?
I've been doing it for like 3 years.
3 years? Just wait. You're going to get to that point where like your training is going to take off, especially because you're going to Thailand in the summer?
Yeah, I'm going to Thailand for a month.
Very jealous, by the way.
Yeah, it's sick.
That was like my old coworker James, like that was like our
that guy's good.
He is good. And he's controlled. He's like really respectful as well.
Xander James is like a 4th degree black belt. He's been training. He's like He's really, really good.
Yeah, he was my instructor because I did Taekwondo at first, and then I quit Taekwondo and then moved on to kind of like mixed martial arts and stuff. He was my instructor when I was a kid, and then I went to his place, Elite Force, for about like 9-10 years, and then I got a job there, and I was an instructor when he was an instructor, so it was kind of cool. He's like my big brother in a way, but
Then I came and Zach left.
yeah, it's true. That is true. You know, people get busy.
Yeah.
You know,
It
especially
happens.
with like school and stuff, like working. It's just the hours didn't match. But
The way I really got comfortable fighting was through sparring, because I used to go to
Oh.
Brazil. Yeah.
sparring is the best form of self-defense. Like you can run through moves and stuff, and you can run through what to do, but sparring is the best way to practice your self-defense. If it's
Only light sparring though, because if you go hard, you can't really.
well,
learn.
yeah, but I mean, like for me, sometimes I like to go hard. I like
Yeah.
like the way that I like to do it is hard body shots, light head shots.
Yeah.
Because like if you land a good kidney shot, like boom, like I like to. I'm not gonna say I like to get hit with a hard kidney shot, but it definitely tells me, yo, keep your
Teach you to
elbow
keep your
there,
hand, yeah.
keep your
Yeah.
hand there,
And
keep
like you're
your-
gonna be okay. It's not gonna cause like
exactly.
too much.
That's
trauma.
why, like, yeah, if I see people sometimes at like gyms and stuff, like fight and they swing hard to the head. It's like you're not getting anything done. You're just trying to prove a point, and when you try to prove a point, somebody's gonna get hurt, if not both. But definitely, though, the best form of self-defense, like practice, is sparring, 100%, because it's me versus you. It's your own moves, your own or your own like move list, your own like combos against my own combos, my own defense, like things like that.
Do you think that in any way you should fight with anger? I don't think so, but
I mean, no, but definitely there are some times.
Sander, what about you?
it depends. I mean, like
I think if you fight, sorry to cut you off, but I think if you
No,
fight
you're good.
emotionally, like if you fight emotionally, sometimes it can help you. But I don't know.
I mean, I feel like fighting emotionally opens you up to making mistakes, but at the same time, it like depends. Sometimes you need to channel like some adrenaline and energy from like being emotional or from anger. But it depends on the surroundings. You know, it depends on what you're fighting for, where you're fighting, why you're fighting.
I was watching this podcast earlier today. It was GSP talking about fights, and like Nelk asked him, they said, do you think that you should fight with anger? And he gave a great example on the Jose Aldo and McGregor fight. McGregor was taunting Aldo and like talking so much shit, and it left Aldo fighting emotionally, and he messed up.
Yeah, I think at the pro level like that, fighting emotionally is going to be your biggest enemy. I mean, it all really just depends. Like sports, like MMA, UFC fighting like that is different because like in the UFC, it's a pro against a pro. It's like your full-time job against my full-time job, like because they do it a lot. They train like for up to fights, like they train for that. So it's definitely like you have to be at your top mental peak for UFC. But I think if it's like a street fight or whatever, maybe if you're defending somebody emotionally, that could help you out a little bit. But I think at that pro level, it definitely like you don't want to fight with emotion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah, because then like Xander said, you can end up like because when you get emotional, you swing, and then when you swing, you're thinking offense before your defense, and you want to always be able to protect yourself. That's why like you say, like if you punch, keep the other hand up.
Mhm.
Like if you fight emotionally, your habits tend to go out the window.
Just
swinging
Yeah.
like with your hands down and stuff, and you see it like you'll see it in like fights.
But it's
or
all you
whatever.
also have to commit. Like I feel like you have to commit when you're gonna like throw a punch. You got to commit to the punch.
Oh, for sure.
Unless
But you
you're
don't
throwing
want
a
to.
feint.
But you don't want to overcommit.
Yeah,
A lot
exactly.
of people, they'll
What do you mean by
overcommit.
commit?
Like you gotta really believe like what you're doing. Like I see it a lot in the UFC. Like you could tell when someone's confident in their game. Like
Yeah.
you could tell when they think they're gonna win that fight. And I think that's like really important. You gotta believe like Volk really believed that he was gonna beat Islam. I feel like when a lot of people fight Islam, they're just signing to get a paycheck. Like they don't really believe they're gonna win a fight. And I feel like that's a big part of performing well and winning or even if it's in the street, like winning a street fight.
Yeah, I mean that's something that like you can tie into almost all sports though, or like
100%.
anything. All you gotta do is like I hate to sound like that cliche little like I don't know like fridge magnet, But like you just gotta like believe in yourself, like, and it's confidence. That's what martial arts helps you with, is believing in yourself. And 100% I agree with that. Especially like I said, at that pro level, you have to have that confidence in your ability, because the second you don't believe in yourself is the second you'll start to lose, because you're already losing in your head.
My dad told me a quote one time. It was, the only way to be brave is to have fear. And I feel like that's so true in the fight game.
Yeah.
Like, people who are afraid of their opponent, just the only way to get over that is to be brave and find their weaknesses, study their game, train harder in them.
Well, yeah, I think if you live your life fearless, you're gonna have a short life. Like if you really aren't afraid of anything, you're not gonna live that long. You gotta have that fear in your life. So especially in that fight game as well. Like, yeah, obviously you gotta have that fear. Like if I'm fighting Francis Ngannou, yeah, I have a fear that I'm gonna get knocked the fuck out, but I still should be able to harness that and use it to not get hit, but still fear that hit.
Yeah.
And I think every UFC fighter does that. I think.
Yeah, it's like calculated risk. It's like
Yeah.
there's like a bunch of little calculated risk going on in their head.
However, I can show you the opposite of that. If you like, for example, the Masvidal Usman fight. Masvidal wasn't afraid of Usman's power. He said it. He said he doesn't even have knockout power. And what happened? He got slept. But
I don't think he truly believed that.
Yeah, I agree with Xander.
I do. Masvidal is a very, like, I'm gonna say cocky. He's cocky. He definitely is. Don't even say it.
He knew he was a journeyman. Like, he knew he's not that good. Like, he was never worthy
Yeah.
of fighting for a title. I think that he went into that fight kind of knowing he was gonna lose. I really do. I mean,
See, I don't know. I mean, how he came up is that very like he came up like, he grew up in what, Miami?
yeah, Miami.
I think, yeah, he grew up in Miami. Like
Hollow,
that mentality, that mentality down
He
there.
got famous street fighting.
Yeah, Kimbo Slice. He
Yeah.
got famous with that stuff. That mentality is like, I'm the best. Nobody's better than me. Like you can see it in like, I mean, especially I used to live in like southern Florida. I used to go there and visit and stuff. And like,
Yeah, but you're the best in the street versus you're the best professional fighter. Like, he never wanted to wrestle. Like, he doesn't want to wrestle.
but I think it still ties in though. I think his attitude stayed the same. And that's what I
Yeah.
think happened. I think I feel like he truly thought he was not going to get knocked out by Usman. I feel like he truly thought he wasn't be able to. And he got knocked out.
I think that it was always in the back of his head that he could. I don't think that he ruled that out of the picture. I just knew that. I just think that he was saying that because he wanted Usman to like strike with him. He was like trying to say like, you can't knock me out, like, because if Usman chose to wrestle, he knew he was screwed. So I think that's like playing like the mind game the same way people
Smart.
like McGregor would say like, don't wrestle me, like he didn't want Khabib to wrestle him. He said like, strike with me. You know?
I guess. But I mean, I feel the way that I took it is that I honestly genuinely think Masvidal, like, he thought he couldn't get knocked out. I genuinely think that was it.
Well, he can.
Yeah, that's what I said. I saw that fight. I watched him get knocked out. It was so satisfying.
Yeah, I don't like Masvidal at all.
Me neither. I
How
mean, I
old is
think if
he?
he, I have no clue. Masvidal, I don't know. He looks like Jesus.
What were you saying though?
I forgot. But yeah, Masvidal was he's 38. Masvidal's 38. He was kind of on the older side. I didn't know he was that old.
Yeah, he's done.
Mine's
I
got a
mean, he's
big
gonna come
record,
back for a
too.
paycheck. Colby,
But
even
definitely
said
people in South Florida are huge Masvidal fans because he's from there. But I mean, like, I don't like him.
that. Yeah.
Do you
not
think
my guy.
him and Colby's beef are fake?
No way.
No.
Which is crazy because they both kind of they're both kind of the same person.
Yeah.
But
No,
I
I don't
mean-
think they're the same person at all.
I think the way that they
They're both really cocky.
I think
I think the way they project themselves is the same.
that's fair, but they were raised very differently. I think that like Colby,
Yeah.
Colby went to college, like he was a D1 athlete, like
Yeah, and Masvidal's this
yeah, it's
Miami
just, like,
street fighter.
Yeah, like I think that they were friends for sure, and they did have a falling out over money. I think that's all true. I fully believe it. I mean, it makes sense. Like
I like Colby. I like Colby coming.
I like Colby too because he's so good. He's so
He is,
good.
but I like it too because he talks a lot of shit and he talks a lot, but he backs it up.
But
has to though.
he's more marketing. Like he's not like
That-
McGregor.
No, only he
Yeah.
does it because I thought I saw him say it somewhere. He said that he talks the shit because Dana said that he wasn't bringing enough fans or something.
Yeah, he was gonna get cut from the roster.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, and that's a whole nother thing about unpaid fighters and stuff, like, or well, not getting paid enough. But like, I think that definitely that business is a hard business to navigate.
It'll come though. It's growing like crazy. It'll come.
Yeah.
They just got to stick with it.
We'll see. I mean, I personally don't really know like a whole lot about Dana, but I don't know. He doesn't seem like a great guy.
No, yeah. I mean, there's pros and cons. Like you got to be a president of a company. Like it's not an easy job. But I wouldn't say he's a bad guy. But I don't think he's always does the most morally right things. Like him and his beef with Ariel Helwani is interesting. But
I would say he's a good businessman, though.
oh, great, phenomenal,
Great,
yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, to run a damn company like the UFC, as highly televised as it is, it's like it's definitely it's admirable in that regard. I think also like the UFC has definitely put a bunch of other fight companies under, like Bellator and One. Like who talks about those anymore? Unless like you're like an actual like MMA fighter, you actually train and you actually fight. A lot of people don't know about those side branches. Like for example, one of my favorite fighters, nobody really knows unless you actually train. You know Fedor?
Yeah.
Fedor is one of my favorite fighters. A lot of people who don't train, a lot of people who don't know who that is.
He just got knocked out.
I know. I was so sad. I think it was like, what was his record? It was like 33-0 or something.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's definitely overpowering the littler companies.
Yeah, because like when you think of like, I think because you said this, Xander, it's like when you think of MMA, what do you think of? UFC. So it's like you don't think of Bellator, you don't think of One or all these other ones, but
Or what you said, defending yourself. Like when you think of MMA.
well, that's a big thing. That's like something that I stress a lot. It's like don't think about martial arts as just UFC or whatever. Like
it's not really a sport. It's a
a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
But I think the octagon stimulates a regular fight better than any other.
Oh no, yeah, for sure.
Like boxing doesn't stimulate a fight. Like
No,
karate doesn't stimulate a fight.
No,
YouTubers are taking over boxing. It's just sad.
I stopped watching boxing ever since Jake Paul. He ruined it for me. He really did. Like watching Tyron Woodley lose to Jake Paul
Twice.
made me say, "Yeah, no, I'm done with boxing."
But it's not that surprising. Like I mean, he was a wrestler.
But still, he's a professional fighter. I mean, like you still have a background of striking, and you get knocked out by Jake Paul. He's a
But
YouTuber.
Jake Paul was training every single day. Like he's not a YouTuber.
So
he was training
up to that fight. Tyron Woodley was too.
I know, but when you wrestle your whole life, this might sound dumb, but when you wrestle your whole life, your muscles are not fast twitch muscles anymore. Now, what they are, they're push and pull.
Yeah.
That's what he trained, push and pull. So automatically, like someone who didn't mix it up, he will have power, but he doesn't have the speed and the accuracy someone else who just starts training could have. And at the same time, he was getting older, and Jake, it's not like Jake was just messing around. Like he had great boxing trainers. Like he really cared. He put on an image as a joke, but he was like working hard.
Yeah. No, I fully think like Jake Paul, honestly, like seeing him now to what he was, he's definitely grown as a boxer, 100%. Like now I can say he's got that talent, but I just think the way he entered the game, it ruined it for me. The way he came in and he was questioning like the validity of like fighters and stuff, saying like I'll knock this person out, I'll knock this person out. It kind of made martial arts seem like not as respectable.
Like anybody can do it. It's just
anybody can do it, and that definitely painted a picture for sure that now boxing's a joke. I mean, like you got like TikTok creators fighting against TikTok creators.
You see that one video? I forgot his name. It was the guy from 2 Outs a Handle. He just went and just like swinging in slow motion.
Tommy Fury.
His name's Chase Demore.
I have no clue who that is. I stopped. I didn't even know Ryan Garcia and Tank were fighting until
you might know him if I say this. He was the one who did the Israel dance after he won. He did like the bow and arrow after. No, nothing.
No. I'm telling you, I didn't watch it. Like I said, I found out Tank and Ryan Garcia were fighting 2 days before they actually fought.
That's nuts. It was a good fight.
I don't pay attention to it. I didn't even watch it. If I'm gonna be frank with you, I did not even watch it. I watched the last round. I watched where he got knocked out with the stomach shot. Yeah, which is crazy. I don't know if you've ever felt. It was a liver shot, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever felt a liver shot?
Yeah.
Do you want to?
No.
No, they kill you, bro. They hurt. Like Craig hit me with one time we were sparring, right? Hit me with a round kick right at the sweet spot of the liver. And it hurt at first. I was like, it's not that bad. 3 seconds later, boom, I collapse. I'm like,
He got me with a nice kick. He threw a jab at me, and I slipped it, kicked me right in the face. Yeah.
that's wild. I mean, I think that I'd rather get knocked out by one of Craig's kicks, like to my head, than a liver shot, 100%.
Yeah.
It's that
I
bad.
agree.
It
with
hurts
that.
so much, dude. It hurts so much.
Now that I think about it, he has. When we did the wall sparring with him.
Yeah, but no, you'd feel it. You'd be like, and you can't breathe and shit. It's so bad. And same with the kidneys. If you get punched in the kidneys.
For people who don't know Craig, he runs Elite Force Martial Arts, and he's a great instructor. He taught me.
Great boss
Yeah,
too.
he's amazing.
He definitely was like a father figure in a way, especially because like when I worked there, like I taught like kids martial arts like ages 4 to 6, and then ages 6 to 12, and then 12 and up, and like as an instructor, the way these kids look up to you, it's almost like you're raising these kids, and he was that for me for almost my entire life, and like and that's what I'm saying, like martial arts, like if you're debating whether or not to start it, no matter the style. Don't let it be Aikido, but it doesn't matter the style. Just start. You're gonna love it, and don't quit. Because there are times where like, oh my god, I hated martial arts. Because like it's like one of those things where it's like I like seeing progress. I'm a person who likes seeing progress. So if I'm doing something and I don't see any progress, I get discouraged, right? So martial arts, there was points in times where like I didn't really see a lot of progress because I didn't fully understand it, and I wanted to quit. But if you quit before you make it to black belt, you like miss out on all the benefits. They say like, and if you're not like some martial arts, they don't do like belts, but once you get to that black belt, they say that's when the real learning starts. So when you're a black belt, and I fully agree with that because like from white all the way up to black belt, it's kind of like I was still a beginner. And once I hit black belt, like I don't know what happened, but everything started clicking. And once it clicks, so fun.
I'm going to stop it right there. We're running out of time. So we got the first podcast done. Good job, guys. And for people who are watching, follow the Instagram MMA with Tanner Stone. And I'll see you guys next week.